Hello everyone, I hope everyone's doing well. With today's example, we're going to get into how to run regression in Excel. The data set you see in front of you should look familiar if you've looked at the correlation video. Even the file name that it's saved as still has correlation in it. But now I'm interested in running a regression. So the independent variable here is going to be our percent unemployed, and I'm interested in our ag assault rates in our neighborhood. So as a refresher, these are data for Little Rock neighborhoods, block groups specifically, and we have ag assault counts, the population, and we have percent unemployed already. So as a refresher, if we want the ag rate, here I'm just going to do ag rate 1K. So I'm interested in the ag assault rate per neighborhood by 1,000 residents. So here we take crime count, divide by the population of that specific neighborhood, and times by 1,000. This makes it so that we can compare across neighborhoods. You can see it generates once you flash fill. With that, I'm just going to decrease the number of decimal places. And now we have our two basic measures here. We have our independent variable of percent unemployed we're going to use to predict ag assault rates. So with that, I want to touch on a couple things before we get into the regression and the data analysis tool. A couple different ways you can just view the data ahead of time to get an understanding of what you might find when you get into the actual regression part. So I went here to insert and then recommended chart. Since I had these two data fields highlighted, it's identifying it as a scatter plot. I have two measures and they're going to have the data points connected and plot it against each other. So along the bottom, we have our, and it won't pop up and generate. Let me change this quick one. So it generates both of them. There we go. So our axis down here is our unemployed percentage, and then along the y-axis we have our ag assault rate itself. So as you can see here, there is a general pattern that you can see, and you can eye it to where we do have a fair amount of zeros for the percent unemployed. So with that though, if you remember, if you click on some of the data points to get those selected, right click, add trend line, you can see if there is a relationship here. It already calculated and kept it in a linear one for us. It actually will calculate the R squared for us right now. Not as interested in it. I'll come back to this and show you what you can do, but it gives you the options down here to display your R squared, set even your intercept, so where it crosses the y-axis. So we'll get into this. I'm going to delete this chart, but I'll create another one at the end. Alright, so we have that deleted. Now say we were still interested in just some descriptives, understanding if these two measures are related to each other. We can go to data, data analysis. Let's start off with, we just are interested in correlation. Are these two related? So input range, I already have these highlighted, and go down. I have the columns here. I have the labels in the first row. And I'm going to output in the same spreadsheet that I am, the sheet that I have. There we go. I didn't specify the cell. Oh, if you notice, I made a classic mistake that I do often. The input range, it was selected over, so I go down. I'm going to re-highlight that. Output range is still L2, so it's going to generate for us. If I just scroll up, we now have our correlation values. So we see that there's a moderate correlation here. We don't know if it's significant given this part, but we know that there is a relationship in a positive direction. So as percent unemployment goes up, our ag assault rate per 1,000 residents also increases. Good first sign. So with that, let me just go ahead and create a little more room. Now let's get into running a regression. Again, if you go into the data analysis tool pack extension, click on regression, hit OK. I'm going to kick these out just so it's clear so you can see. Our input Y range, our dependent variable here is going to be our ag assault rates. Our X is going to be our independent variable percent unemployed. Highlight all of that. I want to keep the labels in the first row, so I have that. Confidence level, we can change this to be 99. Output range, this is where make sure you have that cell selected. I'm going to come down here and just put it underneath the correlation. With that, depending on what version of Excel you have different options that you can select. For right now, the residual plot's going to give you your error, so we're going to click that standardized residuals themselves. Click a couple of these just so you can see what they look like. You can play around with them themselves. I'm not going to get into too heavy detail with this. So let's go over the output first before we get over into the graphics. All right, so if we start off with, you might notice that you have the summary output, the ANOVA, then here you have your regression calculation itself, percent unemployed, our intercept, and everything with that. Let me space it out so you can see a bit more. What might confuse you, especially if you're looking at significance and p-values, remember if it has the e to negative 0.7 and 8 or 9 there, these are actually numbers. So just go in here and change it to a number, or if you realize that the e means you change in the decimal place, these are significant even with the f-test itself, and even down here within the regression calculation itself, it is statistically significant. But before that, let's get into the top. So a summary itself, so say we're trying to predict 100% of the ag assault rates in the neighborhoods. We have our number of observations, so that's our sample. Here it's the neighborhoods in Little Rock. We're trying to predict as close to 100% as we can. We can see with just percent unemployment, we were able to predict 19% of the variation in ag assault rates on that one variable. Typically, you'd want to include other measures. Multivariate regression is a big use to understand if there's more than just one factor that matters here. Percent unemployed is a pretty common one that you would throw in a social disorganization index, a disadvantage index that lets you combine multiple different factors with that. But for one measure, looking at violent crime in neighborhoods, not a bad way to start if you're just starting from scratch. So if we go down, our f-test shows that it is significant. Again, the e might throw you off, but if you change it to a number, we see that that is there and we're good to go. But now let's come down to our regression itself here. So I'll just paint this so it's easier to follow. Our intercept here is truly just that, the intercept itself, but we're more interested in the percent unemployed, our independent variable here. So if we go across that bottom one, you can see the p-value, it is significant. So there is a significant relationship between percent unemployment and the ag assault rate per 1,000 people in the neighborhoods. So with that, a 1 unit increase or a 1 percentage point increase in the percent of unemployed increases the ag assault rate by 3.09 per 100,000 residents. So that's how you would interpret that. So for every 1 unit increase in an independent variable, this one just happens to be a percentage. It's about a 3 increase, so 3 crimes per 1,000 residents increase in our dependent variable at the ag assault rate. So keep in mind, of course, when we're doing predictions, we're not always going to be spot on. So with that, these two graphs will help us understand that. And you can even see here our residual, the error of how we're off. So this is just plotting the residuals here. We weren't always spot on. You can even see it here when we're trying to fit the percent unemployment to ag assault. We can get close, but there is going to be error to it. So with that, we know we were able to predict about 19% of the variation in ag assault rates based on percent unemployed. There's another quick way to get at this. If you had the two measures and you know what you were running and you weren't interested in all the other details that come with it, if we come back to insert, if we want to do charts, I'm going to highlight these two again so it auto generates or recommends a chart that will identify it as a scatter plot. Still going to select a scatter plot. So we've generated this. The cool part is if you go to quick layout, you can come down here and there is layout 9, which puts in the linear formula for you. And actually you can see here what it's running with our intercept here and the value, everything associated with that, to where our r squared is still the 19, so about 19%. This one's 19.65. But you can see here where these numbers are coming from. The r square is r squared here. We just looked at the adjusted one. For this purposes and for the undergrad course that I teach, I'm not going to get into the drastic difference between r squared and adjusted r squared. But for now, just realize this is where the number's coming from. The 3.095 you can see is pulling from right here for the percent unemployment, and where the intercept crosses the y-axis is at 26.023. Again, here you can see that where the value is coming from our coefficient column. So you can start to see for, again, every 1 unit increase in x, our independent variable, which is percent unemployment, we're going to see about a 3.09 increase in the crime rate or ag assault rate per 1,000 residents. So this is just a quick way in Excel to look and use regression to see if there's a significant relationship, and if so, how much variation is predicted based on, for our example, one independent variable itself. Again, if there's questions, please reach out to me. Always happy to do another video. Cheers. Bye.